Good. Welcome to Crooked Spine Show, Nick.
Thank you
we
for
just
having
talked
me.
about. You're welcome. We just talked last week about, or I think this week, about how do people understand that insurances are getting more expensive. For a company myself, a small company like mine, or even personally, where everyone has to pay more out of pocket, maybe your copay or deductible. It's been going on for a few years now. Are things getting better or worse? What do you think?
I think insurance overall is going to be more expensive as time goes on. There's certain companies that the insurance rates have remained low, and they stay low, and they're able to maintain the low premiums. But there's other companies like the health insurance industry where it's going to get more and more expensive every year. So supplemental insurance and secondary insurances are going to be more popular because it protects financially the customer when they need it the most.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the actual seeing just a doctor, like I said a second ago. It's the concept of, okay, if I can't work, for example, how am I going to pay my bills? Yeah. And I don't have enough money saved up. How am I going to do this? And I may have, say, for example, Social Security, SCI, but it takes time to get that, and sometimes it only covers 50% of your actual income. Yeah. Based on how you file taxes, self-employed, you don't really, sometimes on paper you don't show a lot, so you can't supplement your normal monthly income when you can't work. And if you don't work, what happens? You don't get paid.
Yeah.
That's the tough part, especially self-employed, or even when you're employed, your benefits sometimes don't even cover some of that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's a lot of co-payments, deductibles that a lot of people don't think about.
They don't even know what it is until you actually want to use your insurance.
Yeah, and then when you don't have a paycheck coming in, most people can't survive on. Where actually California is one of the 6 states in the United States that offer SDI, supplemental health insurance or short-term disability insurance. And but 55 to 60% of your annual salary isn't going to cut it if you're sick or injured.
And if it's only for a few weeks, maybe you'll survive in a few weeks.
Yeah.
But some injuries take sometimes weeks, more than weeks, even months to recover from. Yeah. And if you're the breadwinner of your family, what are you going to do? How are you covered? All of us think of life insurance, right? That we all need life insurance. We have no reason why we would or would not need life insurance. But with disability insurance, which covers your overall benefits, covers your living expenses, if you can't work, at that point, that's something where it should become more popular, easier to get, and people more aware of this. We're having the show today. My biggest thing is that as a society, as Americans, we're not getting healthier. We're getting sicker. Okay? People, even though they want to go to the gym, there's more gyms opening up, they're at a lower cost, people still don't realize McDonald's is not your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. Okay? The way you eat, your activity levels, how much you sit and watch Netflix all day long, or whatever you're doing, you need to move your body. And until we realize society we have to do that, our insurances will go up. Because we're all in the same, what I see and what I've read, we're all in the same pool now. As a nation, we're all one insurance pool. What that means is that someone eats McDonald's every day, which is, okay, if you eat McDonald's, I'm not just an example, for someone who works out every day, you're in the same pool, same risk of having a health episode. So because of that, someone who stays healthy, they're going to pay more for someone who is going to be sick. Sure. Whereas before, they used to be able to select that and go, hey, we still qualify you. Now everyone's in the same pool. Is that kind of the picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
So health insurance overall is getting more expensive. So that's why like supplemental insurances are a lot more popular.
Exactly. It just negates that cost of having to pay for everything up front all the time. And if you don't have a big nest egg and your deductible is $10,000 or $5,000, you have to meet that every year before you pay. And you pay insurance covers anything. And in health insurances, I don't see as the full people to blame because they're just looking at the overall risk. You don't want to, as an insurance company, you don't want to go out of business because you can't pay your own bills, your own doctors, or treatments because now you haven't collected money from your insurers. That kind of makes sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. That's just me. Okay. And why do you want to become an Aflac agent or a disability insurance agent?
Well, I enjoy being part of Aflac is because I'm able to offer benefits, supplemental benefits to people who really. They say most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. About 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And when a financial or a health crisis goes on in their family, or they go in an accident injury and they're out of work for a while, they need some financial help. Aflac provides that help.
One, I think a lot of it is by doing what you do, gives people a chance. I've had people come in who use that as secondary insurance, is allows them to survive as they get themselves healthy.
Yeah.
Some people, if they don't have it, unfortunately, have to go back to work sometimes too early from an injury. Now they're hurt again. Now they have sometimes a permanent injury after that too.
Yeah.
So again, if you're the breadwinner, especially protects you and your family from having a crisis to where now you're going to lose your. I have patients who lost their home. They've lost they've had to move in with relatives because of an injury, and it can happen, especially if it's something like not just for example, a broken bone or something like that. So that's more cancer related, more long-term infections too. Okay.
Yeah.
Why else did you become an Aflac agent?
I like working with business owners, so a lot of my helping business owners offer benefits to the employees.
Okay.
A lot of business owners don't realize the options that are available. For the business owners, no cost to offer these benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And for most employees, about 90% of the people I talk to, they get it, they want it, and it offers financial peace as far as their mental well-being is like what's going to happen for an accident, injury. How
You can't control all of that, right?
No, you can't. You
Especially sometimes even at work. It can be an injury at home.
Yeah.
If you put up Christmas tree lights, some people every year will fall off the roof. I've come pretty close sometimes too. Okay?
Yeah.
So and knowing that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, there's risk. Even a car accident too can put you out of work for sometimes weeks and months. You're still covered.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is with disability insurance, as I read it, is once you lock it in, at that point you're unlike health insurance. Sometimes they won't change the amount you have to pay every month, every year. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Well, most companies, they'll lock you in at a certain rate, what you qualify for based on your salary.
Yes.
And then based on that, that's where your rate is. Good thing about short-term disability insurance is when you sign up for that supplemental insurance, you can pick your waiting period. So let's say...
Based on how much you want to pay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So the longer you have to wait in order to get that money, it's going to be less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if you have a lot of vacation time, sick time, you do have a substantial savings, you may want to have a lower rate and wait a little bit longer for that disability to kick in. Because
how does state disability work? Does it kick in within 30 days?
State disability kicks in after you miss 7 days of work. That's
okay.
when state disability will kick in.
Okay.
But it's about 55 to 60% of our normal
So really
salary.
not enough to cover for most people.
No.
Okay. And anything? Have you dealt with anything? Have you had as an agent? Have you also had disability insurance yourself too?
Not disability insurance. I have that. There's an accident injury policy,
okay.
which we have for my family.
What is that?
If you get hurt, injured, on the job, off the job, pretty much 24 hours a day, and you either miss work and you have to go to the doctor or the hospital, Aflac's going to give you cash directly.
Okay.
And you could use that money to either pay a co-payment, a deductible, or you can use it to put food on the table, pay rent.
You have the options. It doesn't go just to the doctor or to your medication, whatever it might need. Okay.
And it's great based on the injury. You get paid a dollar amount. I know it sounds kind of morbid, but that's how it works. And then also, if you're hospitalized, we know you're missing work, so that's when the big money kicks in. It's anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 the first day, and $300 each additional day. So that policy, you get about $8,000 a month tax free. So you're worrying about getting better rather than how my family's getting fed or how the rent's getting paid,
or stopping your treatment because you can't afford not to work.
Exactly.
That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, now you put yourself in a worse situation. Where now your body's getting worse. If you're forced to, especially physically or psychologically, you have to work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of insurances, in my mind, give me a peace of mind. Hey, look, I'm covered for this.
Yeah.
I can not be reckless, but I had something happen to me. Great, I'll take care of myself so I can get back to long term my position, my job, my profession. Not worry about not being 100% when I go back.
Yeah.
The problem I see is that they don't. Some people will let themselves fully recover, and all of a sudden now they're back to doctors again and again and again because the chronicity of the problem has become worse.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've managed a department of people for quite a while, and I saw that a lot of times they want to get back to work because they needed the money. But either, back injuries is a big thing. You rush that, then you don't get better over the long time, or internal problems where they should be resting a little bit more. They come back to work prematurely, and that same thing happens over and over again. So yeah,
it becomes more chronic then too.
Yeah.
And with how do people file claims normally with disability insurance?
Through the state, they just fill out paperwork.
Okay.
For like a secondary insurance. You just talk to your agent or whoever is helping you get that policy, and it's usually a one-page form. You fill it out, file the paperwork.
Is it just the patient filling out, or also the doctor has to fill something out too?
The doctor also has to fill them out.
Good.
A lot of times the doctor is going to say how long yet you're going to be off for on a note, and then you submit that as part of your claim, and that's how the process starts. And
a lot of it is too is as doctors get more used to filling out these forms, like my staff does, a lot of it becomes very easy to do. And you want to make sure you have doctors, like anything else too, that are willing to do that for you. At that point, it only helps out because you already have the benefit. You already paid for the benefit. You already paid for the extra insurance. And because it's locked in too, if the doctor knows how to do that paperwork up front, I think at that point it's followed right away, and obviously you get paid a lot faster.
Yeah, that's a huge... I was helping somebody with a claim last week, and one of the big things for them was trying to get the paperwork. So if you work with a doctor who does know how that process goes, it makes it so much smoother. A lot of times the people think it's on our end why they're not getting the money, but a lot of times it's the doctors and the hospitals.
Do you deal with the doctor? Do you go to doctor's offices and deal with them directly how to file the paperwork properly?
No, it's usually
pretty simple, right?
Yeah, it's very simple. They just have to
fill
pull
it
the
out
paperwork,
and fax it, or email it, or put it on a pigeon and send it to the office.
Yeah.
The hard. And I mean, that's my thing is when I see a patient, okay, and they have second insurance, great. It doesn't affect me. It affects this girls more than anything else, the staff. But I want to make sure that helps me understand that person's mindset is, okay, now I can be patient as I heal.
Yeah.
I don't have to feel like I have to go back on Monday because my boss says, hey, we're getting backed up. I need you back. And at that point, I think a lot of it, the psychology of healing is you need to be able to relax and not stress about going back to a position or a job or, like you said, feeding your family or paying all your bills because you have that extra coverage. You pay for that. Is that tax deductible too? The disability extra premium?
So you get taxed on the front end. So when you do get the benefit, it's 100% what you expect.
Wow. Okay.
So if you pre-qualify, whether it be $500 a month or up to $6,000, depending on what you qualify for based on your salary.
How much you want to pay per month too?
Yeah.
Right? Your premium.
Also, how much you want to pay. That's a big deciding factor. And then you get that amount in a check.
There's no tax. Means because there's some disabilities that are taxed, I've heard, but also unemployment's taxed too.
Yeah.
So they always realize sometimes if you are going to do something like this, make sure you ask the questions. Hey, what am I actually going to get? Is that the net? Is that going to be what I'm getting, or is there tax on top of that?
Yeah,
too?
Definitely.
And that's I worry about that because some people just don't know.
Yeah.
And if they don't know, what are they going to do? How are they going to figure things out on their own? Having an agent or someone like Nick where they can actually walk through everything, he's done it for a while now. That point, you understand exactly how it works.
Yeah, okay? A big thing, if you don't mind me interjecting.
This is your show, man. We have forever on this show.
Well, a lot of people, they don't know what they're getting into or purchasing when they buy insurance.
Yes.
So you want to know what's covered, what's not covered. How long is the coverage going to be, and also, am I buying it from a reputable company where when I do need benefits, that they're going to be around to pay me, and it's not going to be delayed because they don't have the money or.
And when you talk about someone who may use a policy. When they're on the policy, because I know my life insurance goes back and forth with this too, are they still paying premiums when they're on the policy, when they actually use their policy?
Yeah, that's a good question. Some policies have a benefit waiver, so when you are getting short-term disability, there's a waiver where you don't have to pay the premium after you're on a certain period of time. For example, Aflac has 90 days. Once you're on for 90 days, the premium's waived after that, as long as you're on the short-term disability.
So it takes 90. Can you pay to have that shorter?
No.
Okay, so that's basically standard. That's
just a waiver.
Standard.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, too, is the secondary insurance like Aflac per occupation or company, or if you switch companies, do you take it with you?
So that's a good question to ask yourself when you do buy the insurance. Yeah, is you want to make sure that you can take that insurance with you.
Okay. Some companies will offer that. Right? Some companies will offer that.
Yeah,
but it's within the company though. Some companies will offer it inside their company, but once you leave the company, then you lose that benefit. You're gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my worry is you want to make sure you're covered the whole time. If you're, and sometimes a work policy may be more restrictive to just the work than actually something that can happen at home or a car accident or an injury somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I worry about that. Is your policy covered if you're on vacation and something happens?
Yeah.
Like golf ball in the head?
24 hours a day, 7 days a week, pretty much doing anything.
I've only hit 2 people in the head so far.
So as you know, short-term workers' comp kicks in when you're at work, but they say only 5% of the disabilities start from a workers' comp claim. 95% is off the job and doing something silly or like throwing your kids up in the air, having fun, then you twist the wrong way, or
just life.
Yeah, life in general.
Well, realize when and talk about workers' comp too versus unemployment versus disability, state disability or private, is private disability. What I've seen through Aflac companies too. It's the doctor proving it. So you send paperwork, boom, it's done.
Yeah.
With worker comp cases for 1, 2, has to be approved through the state, through a workers' comp department, through an agent. That may take 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks just to get it approved so you can get care. So in the meantime, you're sometimes using your own private insurance, which may have a high deductible, high copay like mine does. At that point, you're having to pay out of pocket day 1 through day 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30 days out.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even approve the claim, so now you've wasted all this time, and now you have to go back to work because you can't afford anything.
Yeah.
So having a policy where it's one paper, it's one doctor saying you're good, ready to go. At that point, that's your policy, and that's it. You start getting paid. You got to start getting your benefits right away.
Yeah.
There's no waiting period.
The state disability, that takes a while to even get the money. You may
3 to 4 weeks minimum.
Yeah, exactly.
3 to 4 weeks. So you have to wait that period of time. And if they don't approve it, you may not know for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, and the paperwork is
it's a little
crazy,
painful that I've heard.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is what I like about, and going back to this too, how to reduce the cost of your health insurance, which is really my topic in my head, is making sure you cover the back end, but also in the front end, how to use your health insurance less or your disability insurance less too. Have a policy. Make sure you cover. We all need health insurance, right? I may walk out my office today and get by a bus. Hopefully it's quick.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm good. But the thing is, we don't know what's going to happen. It's called an accident for a reason. Okay, having these benefits allows you the ability to, when you can't control your own health, to have coverage to get back to better health. What I focus on with people is to have a policy but never use it.
Yeah.
Okay, because you are going to stay healthy, you're going to stay active, and then what that means that is when you're healthy and active and you have an accident, your recovery period is a lot less, and it's universal law basically. When you go into an accident or an injury healthy, again, besides exceptions as being cancer, something more intestinal, something more medical, at that point the physical side allows you to protect yourself by getting yourself healthy the whole time. But I have people that, for example, have a car accident. We see a few people. They have a car accident, and after we close their case, right away they have another one. I'm like, gosh dang, I feel sorry for Sally. So what happens is we take the x-rays again. The recovery period sometimes happens because they went through all the care to get better from the first accident. Now the recovery period becomes a lot less for the second one. Mm-hmm. And they know what to do to stay healthy so they don't have even another accident. They have one too. All right. Yeah. Anything else, Nick, so far?
No, I mean...
Well, and with disability insurance, why is it becoming more popular? Just to kind of rehash that again.
Just because the cost of regular health insurance is getting higher and higher every year. Who knows what the future may hold for healthcare? But the costs are very, very expensive.
Well, just mean my own office personally, we've gone up about 400%.
Yeah. The
last, I want to say 7-8 years since Obamacare started. How long was Obamacare? What years?
6 years.
6 years ago?
Maybe.
It's gone up 400% since then. It still goes up every year. Not because we don't see doctors. Dr. Weaver and our staff don't see doctors very rarely. The problem is, again, the pool of people in our insurance plan, because some people are not healthy, they don't do anything at all, and they get sick all the time because of that, we're in the same risk value. So the problem with that means is, for me, is if we're at the same risk and people are in our pool of insurers are getting sicker, the risk goes higher, the cost goes up. So I'm trying to keep the cost down as much as I can. But the problem is other people are not. So as a society, can we start seeing, not complain about our health insurance or the cost, but do something about it to reduce our risk of having to use our insurance for 1, 2, and over time hopefully reduce the cost of everyone having to pay more insurance.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents on the matter.
I agree. That's
the plan.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, and having a policy that covers the back end, because we never know what's going to happen. I have life insurance, I'm probably worth more dead than alive. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure I am. But the problem is that the benefit is peace of mind. Hey, if something happens to me, my family, my kids, my dog's covered, and everyone's covered. Even if I have cats, I don't have cats, so I have cats. But can we make sure that we have enough on the back end, on the front end, keep ourselves healthy so we don't have to use our insurance? My deductible, I think, is $5,000, whatever it is. I maybe go to the doctor once, twice a year.
Yeah.
Get my blood work done, whatever it is, make sure I'm covered. But the back end, at the front end is I'm going to reduce my costs personally out of my own pocket by keeping myself healthy as much as possible.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to wrap up?
I actually, one of the trends I've seen with business owners is a lot of businesses, I mean, after up to a certain amount of employees, you have to provide health insurance.
Yes.
But a lot of smaller businesses, they don't even offer it because it's cheaper for the employees not to take the insurance and not offer it at all and go through Covered California than to offer it at their business.
So they actually take the state health insurance benefits than the actual company benefits.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's cheaper. It's unaffordable for most people. If it's $600 a month for a family or $800 a month that your job's offering, compared to Covered California, a lot of businesses don't even offer it because the employees aren't going to be able to afford it, and you need a certain amount of employees to buy
and the
into
employer, meaning someone like myself, they have to actually have benefits for people. Problem is, if enough people take the benefits, enough employees, then sometimes the cost of health insurance will max out the overall benefit of having a business.
Yeah.
I've had people who lived in California, successful trucking business, for example, they moved to Florida. Their business is mobile. They're like, we can't afford the health insurance here for our drivers and their families. We'll move somewhere else because we can pay our drivers more and their families and still be able to take home a profit.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, why are different states different coverages like that?
It's all about the government and the states.
But it's even state controlled how much the risk factor is per state with your health insurance.
Yeah.
How much you're going to have to pay out of pocket as a business or an employee of that business.
Yeah, taxes overall has to do huge with businesses and health insurance. So
it's sometimes getting harder to get some of those benefits back from the back end, even though you're paying for it at the front end too.
Yeah.
All right. So in the wrap up too, the biggest thing is I think having a disability policy doesn't say you can be unhealthy, but allows you, if something does happen, especially at home or at work or on vacation or wherever you are, the benefit of knowing peace of mind, I can cover from injury, not worry about it. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I don't have to pay my bills. I'm going to have something that's going to cover that short term and long term, especially long term.
Yeah.
And hope you never use your policy, like my life insurance, because I'll never know because I'll be dead by then. A lot of it is, can you have something that covers your peace of mind for you and if your bread, but especially for your family too. And again, stay healthy so you never use it. Right? Anything else, Nick?
No, that's it. Thank
Thanks
you
for
for
the
having
show.
me. I appreciate it.
Welcome again. We're chiropractors in Upland. Nick has an office in Rancho, correct?
Yes.
Cucamonga.
Rancho Cucamonga.
And then how long have you been in practice? How long have you had practice?
I've only been doing Aflac about 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
but dove into it 100%
Huge.
and am very happy and excited about the opportunity with them.
And a good company. Been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Benefits don't really change with them. Everyone's happy. All right. Thanks for watching. See you next show.
Have a great day.
That's all it is, man. Just tell your story.